Thank you for joining us. I'm Naiba Reynoso. Ahead, celebrity chef Roy Choi talks about life in the culinary fast lane, plus learning the basics of CPR to save lives, and a glimpse of life in Venice Beach. But first, 4 injured sea lions rescued by county lifeguards and cared for by the Marine Mammal Care Center were released in Marina del Rey. Here's the touching story.
We are here today on Venice Beach. We are here with the Marine Mammal Care Center, celebrating the strength of their work. They have been investing in our marine life that has been poisoned by the algae blooms that have resulted from climate change. That got on our radar back in 2023, and that combined with the fires this year has just made it an unprecedented event.
We were here today to release 4 of our young sea lion pups back to their ocean home. They'd been in our hospital for up to 2 months. These animals represent not just them as individuals, but the health of our ocean, the health of marine mammal species. And coming together, we can work and create an environment that they will thrive in for the long term.
I really just wanted to thank and acknowledge our amazing lifeguard personnel. They were the people on the front lines who got these animals out of the water, up onto the sand, and made the call to the Marine Mammal Care Center so those animals could receive the life-saving care that's allowing them to return to the beautiful Santa Monica Bay today.
This was a really difficult event, both for, of course, our animals, for us, and for our partners, such as our lifeguards and beaches and harbor staff, and just the residents of LA County. What makes these events, these release events, special for me is, and I hope everyone who's watching, is that it's the hopeful messages that when we work together and we put our minds to it, we can do anything.
So to see these 4 little sea lions be able to be cared for and released back to their home is nothing short of extraordinary this morning.
Chef, author, and food truck pioneer Roy Choi was a guest at the LA County Library's Speaker Series in Manhattan Beach.
We are so excited about our second premiere of the Manhattan Beach Library Speaker Series. This is an incredible partnership between the County Library and the City of Manhattan Beach. We're bringing in all kinds of wonderful speakers, and today we have Chef Roy Choi, which I am thrilled to be able to interview him. And we're gonna have some Korean tacos afterwards.
Thank you so much.
This is amazing. I'm here on a Saturday in Manhattan Beach, sponsored by the library, and it is like hometown love. I gotta tell you that, man. Like this is the back end of our book tour.
This is why we're here, and hear about his life story, his journey, and we can get his new cookbook signed by him.
There's like 1,500 people out here at 8:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and I'm just blown away. And I think that goes to where I come from. You know, I come from here in Los Angeles in Orange County, and even though my life has taken me places with the Kogi truck, I've never forgotten about where I'm from, you know, and I've never forgotten who I feed.
You are credited for launching the first food truck, well, the food truck concept, and I would argue probably the cooler food truck concept. Your Kogi taco truck was a revolution, and it reshaped the culinary world. Do you ever think about what your younger self would think about who you are today?
If I were to see my 16-year-old self, I think that I'm proud that that person would look at me and be like, yo, respect, you know, yeah, respect, like you keep doing what you're doing, and like you're out there, you didn't forget about where you're from, you didn't forget about the people that you feed.
These are the roots of who we are, and those roots are the Kogi truck. And I think what we were able to do was not only encapsulate the flavor of Los Angeles into one bite, but the people eating our food became a part of that language and a part of that identity.
He's such an inspiration with just the good he does in the world and how much he cares about people. and it shows through his food.
Everything that I do, whether it's writing books, whether it's cooking food, making recipes, making restaurants, figuring out how to feed people in crisis, all of these things are dictated by what's going on the streets and in Los Angeles. And, it just, that's who I am.
Love you, Chef.
Yeah, love you, Chef.
As the cost of living soars, the county is stepping up to ease food insecurity, convening stakeholders to discuss strategies. Take a look.
We're here to celebrate a grant that was created by the County of LA and part of the LA Food Equity Roundtable, which was co-chaired by Ali Farzini of the Chief Sustainability Office, as well as Cindy Kennard of the Annenberg Foundation. And that roundtable was part of getting some funding together to support those organizations that are working to help transform the food system. And they're working on a number of levels. They're working on farmers markets, they're working on food distribution, they're working on urban agriculture. Some of them are working on helping people, the children and also formerly incarcerated, learn how to grow food and sell it to their local communities. All the things that create more of a community-oriented food system.
Community Partners is part of Los Angeles's infrastructure. We're an intermediary, so we take funds from government and large donors, foundations, and we re-grant them to community and do other projects with community organizations. We have a high amount of food insecurity in Los Angeles County, and it's not equitably distributed. So we're making sure that we're looking at all the geographies in high and highest need in the county and distributing the foods and the grant funds to address the needs in those communities, including people who are homeless, people who are undocumented, people who have experienced historical inequities, etc.
At Prosperity Market, we are a mobile farmers market that features like farmers, food producers, and chefs. And essentially, we travel throughout LA, making it easy to create food accessibility and shop the Black farmers and food producers that we work with. With our food distributions, we've fed tens of thousands of people. When we do our pop-up markets, depending on the communities, we've been everywhere from Malibu to Compton. So there have been a few hundred people to a couple thousand people. And we have our farmers market on wheels, which is a big 48-foot trailer that you can shop like an aisle in a grocery store, that also has a food truck at the front. So it's a food truck and a farmer's market all in one that we take all around LA to be able to create food access for communities.
The website is foodequityroundtable.lacounty.gov.
Seconds count when a bystander or loved one suffers cardiac arrest. Learning the basics of hands-only CPR is easier than you think.
We're here with the County of Los Angeles and the Emergency Medical Service Agency, and we're here today really just making sure the public understands that Save a Life CPR is something they can participate in, and they can be a hero in somebody's life if they know how to do sidewalk CPR. But the chance of survival, if you get chest compressions within the first few minutes of somebody going under with a cardiac episode is huge. It really increases their chances by a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, staying alive, staying alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, staying alive.
Nationally, around 1 in 10 people who suffer these horrible cardiac arrest events survive. However, only a fraction of those survive with their memory intact. Those that get CPR by friends, family, or somebody in the public are much more likely to both survive and have their memory intact and go back to their families and go back to their jobs and lives.
That day I had trained and my only hope was to get the goal that I had. It was a time goal. I felt great. I didn't feel anything until I felt something in my chest. My legs gave up, and that's all I remember. The two people who saved my life, who gave me hands-only CPR and defibrillated me, told me that I had just a cardiac arrest. And it was just unbelievable because I didn't had any cardiac issues before. You learn to live with it, and you accept your life as a new normal, and you're okay. You're okay dealing with your illness. You learn about it, and you learn how to be safe and how to manage it.
Thanks for joining us. We leave you now with scenes from Venice Beach. We'll see you next time on LA County Close Up.